Episode 83.
Welcome to the Ultimate Deck Podcast.
Ultimate Deck Podcast.
Helping you keep your finger firmly pressed on the decking industry, the people in it, and the information you need to master the backyard. And now, host of the Ultimate Deck Podcast, Shane Chapman.
That one hurt a little bit. I didn't like it even as I was doing it.
Yeah.
But I had committed to it. And so I had to tail it off into the sound. I had to mix the sounds with my vocals. But I didn't even like it while I was doing it. I was
such a mad mixer.
Cringing
We're
while
gonna
I was doing it. I was like,
we should get a table in
shouldn't
here.
be doing that like this. Shane Chapman, Wade Laurent,
Back again.
the Ultimate Deck Podcast. Now available on 4 different cameras. If you're out in the market and you're looking to buy a new camera, and you're trying to decide between a Sony Handycam or a Panasonic Lumix G85 or a Sony, what is that? Is it a mirrorless something or other, or just a Huawei P30 Pro? You could actually just watch this. You can watch our podcast and see
get the Huawei P30.
actual footage from 4 different cameras right now. And a few different microphones. This should be a tech podcast.
Nope.
It's already there.
Nope. Speaking of tech podcasts, we were downstairs this afternoon trying to sell some decking to a guy, and he didn't know how to text a picture of his quote. He had a picture of his quote, and I had to use his phone for him. Like,
Now you have COVID because you touched his phone.
give me your phone. I don't have COVID. There's
You
no
have
cases
COVID.
here. We have
Yeah.
0 cases.
Well, not that you know of.
Yeah.
He may be number 1. Now you're number 2.
And you're 3.
That's how it works. Holy smokes. Look at the did you see that filter?
Okay.
He just put it. Look at the Instagram Live. If you're not watching the Instagram Lives when we record these things, typically on Fridays or Saturdays, you're missing out because there's some wicked filters going on here. Oh my God. There's hearts everywhere. Reunited and it feels so good. Okay, listen, we've had a really good segment running on this for a while, and I told myself that if Simcoe Dex didn't show up on the start of this Instagram Live, that his segment was forever retired. It's over. He's not in here. It's done.
Dropped him. Like it's
Dropped
hot.
him. If I had a sound that would work for that,
Blunk.
I would hit it now.
Ayo, touch my hand.
That's not the one. Anyway, so
What's this
we
one?
had
What's
to
that
have
one?
try it. But
Where's the
I don't know that we have the wah in there anymore. But we need a segment. We need a segment to go to every once in a while. Did we come up with a name for this, Bryce? No. We all that time this afternoon, no name. Wade, we're going to come up with a jingle and a name for this thing.
Okay.
But we're going to talk about some news from around the world.
Done
Not
news.
just because, you know what, I looked up Simcoe today. What was the headline? The only headline I could find, 25 new cases of COVID today. One of the biggest increases ever that they've had. Just bad news. So then you don't get a number 2 headline. That dominates all the news.
Yes.
And I'm tired of it.
Sounds like a fun weekend. All 25 people picking up COVID.
Yeah.
I think it was in one.
Probably because they paid
one
to
house?
walk in the same park.
Nope.
So we're going to change it up. And so I've found some news from around the world for you to digest. You haven't seen these yet, but I did.
Okay.
The first one comes from Columbus, Ohio. The first headline. You ever been?
No, you were.
Was I?
I thought so.
I forgot that I've been there before, but I believe that I flew in there. Like, I wasn't there very much. I flew in there. Is that where I went? No, Dayton.
Yeah, but you
I flew
left.
through. I don't know if I went.
You
I
were
don't know
in
if I've
Columbus,
been there or not.
Ohio. That's where you flew.
Wilmington.
To. Yeah. Maybe.
I don't know if I flew out. I feel like I flew into Dayton though.
Doesn't
Anyways,
matter.
I could be wrong. Regardless, I wish I would have been there because it sounds like it won't be anymore
Okay.
after this headline
Tell me the
sees
story.
itself through.
Tell me.
There is
the
a
story.
petition right now. It's got 7,800 signatures right now to rename the city of Columbus to Flavortown. And so
7,800 people. I think this is how many people are in the town.
of Columbus?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Probably 750,000 people.
Okay.
Likely 1 million people, maybe.
Million people.
I mean, it's got some work to do.
Flavor Town. Would you
So,
Would you
but-
ever say it just Yeah, I'm from Flavortown. Or would you be like, I'm from Flavortown?
I can tell you for sure that I wouldn't forget if I've been there before. If I had been to Flavortown.
Flavo.
Yeah, no, I don't think you would say it ever just like, yeah, I'm from Flavortown, Ohio.
Yeah.
No.
Mm-mm. Okay.
So here's the reason behind it. Apparently, Columbus, Ohio, this isn't too far of a stretch. If I asked you where did it get its name from, you'd probably guess it.
Mm-hmm.
Came from Christopher Columbus, apparently.
Yeah.
And Christopher Columbus was a racist. And so he's not allowed to have towns named after him anymore.
Okay.
That's 2020.
Okay.
And now so they want to rename it. And who is from Columbus, Ohio, is Guy Fieri.
Okay.
Guy cooks a mean dish.
Yeah, he does.
So
It makes great hamburgers.
Flavortown.
Flavortown.
So now,
Okay.
yeah.
Fine.
So Columbus is picking up some swag along the way here if this thing pulls through.
I doubt this works.
You don't think it's going to happen? If you had to name Columbus, what would you name it?
Columbus.
Just Columbus?
Yeah. You know, there was a lot of battles that were fought in Columbus. Now think of all the history books you have to like pull back and rewrite. And yeah,
The only thing that needs rewritten here is our relationship because you're a racist.
Nope.
Okay. I thought maybe that's what that meant.
Nope.
Number 2. Do you want to hear the next headline in the worldly news?
Yes.
Okay. So there's a restaurant owner in Spain
Okay.
recently set a Guinness World Record.
Okay.
I wonder if you can guess what the record was. How do I give you hints without giving this all away?
Yeah, I don't know. What is that? What are those games?
Try, like here we go. So
Catchphrase.
he set a record for riding something but never moved an inch.
Oh man,
It's a good riddle.
I don't know this at all. Like I was thinking mechanical bull, but for sure you move when you're on there.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if I've ever seen a mechanical bull ridden by a male. It's usually
yeah.
drunk girls at a bar.
Well,
He
usually-
set a Guinness World Record for riding a stationary bike for 297 consecutive hours.
Nope, I'd fall asleep.
What is that?
And he certainly wasn't at the
12
wheelhouse.
full days?
Was
and
it an
then
e-bike?
some days on top of the 12?
Was it an
13 full days?
E-bike? Was it an e-bike? Did he just have to pedal like once and then it did the next 10 for him and then he pedaled once and then...
Is that a thing?
Yeah, man, you have to get an e-bike. You'd
What is an
probably
e-bike?
you'd probably really like riding bikes again.
So you just,
Yeah.
I don't
Barney?
understand it. Explain e-bike. This is like a real thing. Do you have one?
No, dude.
You pedal once and then
Like as if he wasn't able to figure that out.
like an actual bike that rides like a battery powered bike. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. I know what that is.
Yeah,
I thought you
they
were
call it
talking-
an e-bike.
I thought you were talking about a stationary e-bike. Like a
Nope.
And I was like,
No.
you're already not moving anywhere. How much easier does this need to
So
be?
to make a stationary e-bike, all you'd have to do is like bolt the handles of 2 rolling pins to the ground and then put the bike on top of the rolling pins. This is not science.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Varney's in here. Have
Jason
you
Varney
been watching the
joined.
size of his house go up?
Is it his house?
I thought so.
Well, that would
Barney,
make
is
sense.
it your house
It just
that you're
needs to be
building or what?
proportionate.
Yeah.
You can't ask questions to people because then you have to sit there and wait for the answer.
No, I don't. We have to wait.
Fine.
He'll
Headline
answer.
number 3. Do
Here we go.
you want this?
Oh, Varney wants to be in the video.
Out of Texas. Varney. Speaking of wide angle lenses, this guy, he's got a big noggin.
should put
He
him
would
in.
need a wide angle lens.
You should put him in for 5 minutes.
I'll put him in for a couple minutes. Out of Texas.
Him?
Somebody, have you ever
I was
received
like,
a
Varney's
package
not
at your
from
house?
Texas.
Wrong address? Like you
Yes.
got it and it's like not for you?
Yeah.
What was it? What, do you remember some examples of the times it's happened?
It was just a
bills?
box. No, it was just a box. Hey.
There he is. Jason Varney in here. We're great. How are you? Good. This is going to be no good for anybody because his audio is not going to come through the
Can we put it through?
podcast.
Can you put it through the podcast?
No, it's too late. Oh, look at the view he's got going on there, though. This is why people should be in the Instagram live while we're doing the podcast.
Are you
'cause they can see
working
this.
today?
Where are you? Somewhere in Florida. I can barely hear it either, but that's fantastic. Okay, we're going to drop you off because we don't actually have you hooked up through the podcast, so nobody can hear your side of things. So it's not going to make for, but we should have you on sometime. Hey, let's line that up next week. All right, brother. Take care. I love this Instagram thing, right? We can do stuff like that, but we just need to make sure we get people's audios through it. So anyways, Texas.
Yeah. So
These
the package
folks-
comes,
Yeah.
usually what I get is like the neighbor's shoes or something, or
Their phone bill
yeah.
or something, right?
Yeah.
These people down in Texas, 32 bags of weed showed up at their house. Wrong address. They open the box and they've got more Mary Jane than they know what to do
Then
with.
what do you do? Do you sell it?
No, they called the cops.
Why would you? I would.
Weed's
so
not
that's-
legal. Possession of weed is not legal in Texas. So they phoned the police and were like, listen, we got this package. It's not ours,
Yeah.
but there's 32 bags of marijuana in
But
this
it's for
box.
this guy. His name's right on the address.
Yeah.
It goes to his
Yeah.
house.
So cops come and take it and they post on social media. If this is yours,
Come get it.
feel free to reach out. And so I don't know how the story ends.
Come
I
on,
hope somebody
was like,
reaches out.
Yeah, I hope he reached out too.
I hope somebody reaches out. That is the worldly news for this week.
Okay, good.
Hey?
We're 11 minutes in.
A little bit more exciting than the Simcoe news.
Yeah,
At
those
least
were
not
good
as
stories.
depressing.
Flavor Town.
Flavor Town. Okay, so today's topic, we decided to go to the Instagram world today and ask people if they had any questions to do what probably is about our fourth version, I would think, of the Instagram Q&A. I think we've done this 2 or 3 times before. And so what we do is we go to Instagram, we put up a story, we say, hey, ask us anything, and we'll answer it on the podcast. And here we are. So we got a couple good questions here, and we're going to look at the extremely low battery. No, you have to reconnect with your phone.
This is unbelievable.
Oh, boy. Okay, so we have a low battery on our phone. This is not good for anybody. You might have to just disconnect the monitor and plug the phone in. That'll work. It's more important to have that running than us to be able to see it. So let's get on with the questions. Before we get on to the questions that came from Instagram, do you have any questions for us today? Wade?
I do not.
Okay. Just thought I'd get that out of the way. First question comes from...
No.
First question comes from AZ Dash. Now, I don't know. We need to meet this guy sometime. He's always in here. If we do the Instagram Q&As, he always has a question. He's always in here asking questions and
And he's got some
Getting
good
feedback.
questions.
sure. Well, I really like this one.
This is a good one.
Would you like to hear it, or should I
I
keep
read
dragging
it.
this on a bit
I
longer?
read it. I cheated.
Okay, so AZ Dash's question was, I'm not going to paraphrase this at all. I'll read it exactly as he wrote it. Most expensive deck build, and do you think a $1 million deck is possible? Have at her. You want to tackle that one first?
So I think the most expensive deck build that we've been part of, I personally have been part of, was, I would say it was probably like 120,000.
Okay.
I think the one on the farm west of Regina was probably the most expensive one I've been involved in.
That was what, last year or the year before?
Yeah, last year. But it's hard for me to know for sure because I didn't get, like, the kitchen happened without us, and you know what I mean? There's some things that happened when we weren't, like, that didn't run through our store.
Right. Project was bigger than what we had our hands on.
Correct.
I guess, right?
But we touched, like, we would have touched 80 of it,
Sure.
and then there was more to go.
There was more on top of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And then, so do you think that a $1 million deck is possible?
Yes.
How would you get there? How would you spend $1 million on a deck?
So I would do it on square footage,
Okay.
right? And so, like, it wouldn't take long to get to $1 million if you were doing a
100,000 square foot deck.
well. So I was gonna say, you know, that it was like a commercial project or something was 50,000 square feet,
Yeah, that would do it.
right?
That wouldn't take long at all. You'd be well over $1 million if that was the case.
Yeah, it's just huge.
I'm
And
guessing
so,
he's probably not thinking that you're going to deck like Wrigley Field. He might be thinking more like somebody's backyard. But
it doesn't take long. As the products go up in price, like every year you get a 5% increase. So that doesn't take too long. The railing gets more, and then people start adding water features, and they add. That's way too close.
right?
So you add water features, and you add lights, and you add the helipad, and
Oh yeah, helipad in the deck.
right? Doesn't take very long at all. I think $1 million is possible.
I think this question's funny. Of course, like anything's possible. Build
Yeah.
a $10 million deck if you want,
Right.
right? So yeah, like sure. Is there many of them out there in the world? Probably not.
2.
Yeah, there might be a
Maybe.
couple.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you pick,
And I think you could get your supplies at the Ultimate Deck Shop. We could ship it out to you.
Yeah, free shipping.
Free shipping. Do you deliver for free? Yeah. Our number's $1 million though.
Yeah, with free delivery at $750,000. Over 500 though, your fee, like your delivery's only $50.
$50 fee.
So entirely possible that you could. There's a charger downstairs at the front counter. We're having phone issues today. Need to get this thing charged up so we don't lose everyone on Instagram.
Yeah.
But
Four of them.
entirely possible that if you use the best of the best products that are out there, or go with something that has a super high install rate to it, like an ePay or something like that, and the deck is massive and it's going to do like the most pimped out like kitchen area from Brown Jordan cabinets, whatever, and it's like. And there's a whole landscaping package around behind it, and there's a friggin' waterfall. Like, yeah, you could spend $1 million. Like, if you told me your budget was $1 million and you wanted to spend all of it, I could get you there.
Yep,
it's possible.
Yep,
that's what he asked. Is it possible? It's possible.
It's totally possible.
So, and the most expensive deck build. So, the one most expensive I would have been involved with, like the deck itself, would have been that same ballpark, same number, like 120-ish for just the deck. But as a part of the project, which was deck plus poolside cabana, plus patio, plus landscaping, plus garden boxes, plus trellises, plus screen room, plus all this crap, like it was a $500,000 backyard in the end of the day. So like we were halfway to what he thinks might be impossible already on that one. And that wasn't like, I was just a house outside of Regina.
Yep.
It wasn't like it was Martin Scorsese's place.
Yeah, they sold their cottage, right? Sold their cottage and then built a
wicked backyard.
Banging
backyard.
It was a banging backyard.
Yep. So there's Simcoe. He missed the bad news for him. That's what happens when you join late. Lost your entire segment. Like,
it just throws it in his face.
There's other people that join now. They're like, what did we lose?
Yeah.
The next question came from Elmar Vinyl, and they were in here at one point in the Instagram. I don't know if they made it back in. Did you disconnect and reconnect us? It's possible. So they maybe didn't make it back in. Hurt feelings.
Yeah.
They asked, lumber shortages in your area? Ontario is getting thin on pressure-treated lumber. Yes. There is lumber shortages. They're happening.
Everywhere.
It's pretty new. Like, we're just now starting to see the effects of this. We ordered quite a bit of lumber at the start of the year. Like, we stocked up what we thought was quite heavily. Turns out we sold it all.
We were told it was quite heavy too. They were
by
like,
the end of May.
That's pretty heavy. Are you sure you're doing that? I was like, yeah. I started this global pandemic. We are all over the map. Yeah. Good luck.
And so we had been hearing from our customers that other places were running out of treated lumber here and there. And we're like, oh, we're still okay. Like, we still got some treated lumber on the ground in all the dimensions that we normally carry. And we have a couple more trucks booked to come to us. And we haven't heard that they're not coming yet.
They're not coming.
And then stuff started to run out. And then we started phoning, be like, where's these trucks? And then it was like, bad news. Like, I don't know where these trucks are, and we're not sure when they're coming, and we're not sure when we're going to have more lumber for you. Worldwide shortage. Oh, okay.
So, which is not totally true. It's not totally true that it's a worldwide shortage. It's like the pandemic happened, and the places that treat the lumber and the places that mill the lumber closed. So they didn't spread COVID in these places. And so the lumber is still there. There's piles of lumber sitting around, and there's piles of lumber being ready to be treated, but they're just now slowly starting to open places up again. And so there's just a backlog. That's all.
So what would you call that if not you?
No, it's a shortage. But like the
not
lumber,
a worldwide shortage, but there's a worldwide pandemic that's caused the lumber to not be available.
What I mean is it's not that we have less trees on the earth.
I don't
the
think
trees are all cut down.
I don't think anybody said that the forests were
they're
gone.
Ready. The trees are ready to be treated.
Pressure treated lumber.
Shortage.
Pressure treated lumber.
We're thin on pressure treated lumber.
Worldwide.
Not lumber. You said lumber.
Can we import it from?
You said we're short on
lumber.
Well, we're not short on lumber. We're short on pressure treated lumber.
I am saying pressure treated lumber. Why are you ignoring the pressure treated part?
Because you weren't at the start of the conversation. You were just saying we're short on lumber. Bryce fact check this. Almost for sure he said lumber too many times.
I'll rewind the tape.
I could tell this is going to be a clip on Instagram already.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's a struggle for everybody right now. That's the moral of the story. There's either a shortage or not a shortage of the pressure treated lumber that nobody can get.
Yeah.
And so now it's tricky. We've got, like, we're out of some dimensions, and it's like we're subbing stuff, and it's not ideal. And it's supposed to last for the rest of the year.
People still want the discounts. Still want a discount, though.
Yeah.
Why? You can't even get it. I think it should be the opposite. We should charge twice as much now.
And so prices are going up. We've been told that from distribution as well, that, like, as a result of all this backlog and trying to catch up and, like,
all this demand,
opportunity to supply the demand.
Yeah.
Prices are going up.
Good.
So there's that.
We'll retire.
So it's
next
not
year.
just Ontario.
Let's
it's
get
everywhere.
loaded.
The trees all come from the same place,
BC.
right? So
The people in Ontario think they come from Ontario, but they come from BC.
the bad news for the people in Ontario is that I'm fairly certain, as the truck goes to pass through Saskatchewan, which they call the Gap, is going to get renamed the Fast and the Furious, because that truck ain't making it to Sudbury, or to not Sudbury. It's coming out of Sudbury. It's not making it to Barrie, to Simcoe.
Yeah.
It'll be There'll be
hijackings
you
on
want to
the
check
road?
the Regina news in a little while? It'll be like lumber trucks. It's like there's Somalian pirates in Regina.
Yeah.
The Reginan pirates.
Yeah. Ultimate Deck Shop and Freeze are like jacking trucks on the highway.
The
There's
last Saskatchewan pirates jacking lumber trucks. Only the pressure treated ones, though.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking. Start the car. Let's go.
Just
we need to
T-bone
put
them.
like they only take one highway through Saskatchewan. It's down the number 1. That's the only place lumber trucks are
Or
going.
16.
We could stake that out.
Pick them off.
I live not even that far from it. Highway number 1. I could just like set up one of those little Wise cams with an alert for it.
Yeah. Then you could spike belt them.
Spike belts.
Boom. And then we'll be sitting there with the forklift.
There's-
all good.
there's
We'll
guy-
help you get all this weight off your truck so you can get your tires
There's
fixed.
people listening to this right now that are writing down as much information as they can in case something happens. So they have like, I think I know who it was.
There was a lumber shortage.
Anyway, so west of us might be okay. East of us, not good news for the rest of you.
Bad news bear.
Windsor, Plywood, Sherwood Park. Now, this is a theoretical question.
Oh, I like this one. This is a good one.
And they'll be experiencing the same crunch, and it's not just pressure treated lumber. Like there's shortages coming on Trex decking, there's shortages in TimberTech decking, there's been shortages on Fibron already. They're like everybody's pinched, right?
There was a shortage in TimberTech decking in January, and they never tried to get like any more decking out. They just quit making decking.
I'm assuming they tried,
No,
but they shut down.
They shut down, and it's been tough slugging.
Windsor Plywood Sherwood Park says, theoretical, you have 100 pieces of decking left to sell. Do you sell a guy 95 pieces or 3 guys 30 pieces?
Who are you asking?
You. It's just us two here. I know we have an audience on this Instagram thing, but
I thought maybe one of those guys would take a crack at it.
I hope they do.
Okay.
But while we wait for them.
Here's the thing. My gut reaction is to sell the first 100 boards to the first 100 purchaser. You know what I mean? Whoever wants to buy them. So if one guy walks in and says, I want 95, I sell him 95. And then the guy behind him was like, I want 30. And there's like 3 people want to do 30. It doesn't matter to me. Whoever gets your wallet out the fastest. With one slight exception. If he's one of my big contractors, like if he's a loyal customer who's here all the time, then it's like, I'd be tempted to hold some for him because he butters your bread. Right?
You've got a different relationship with him than I do.
Yep.
Guess that's why he's your big contractor.
That's right. You just have little contractors.
Auction.
Oh, shit.
Auction in the parking lot.
Auction
in the parking lot?
Yep.
I got 100 pieces.
Pick
Pick the busiest day. You invite everybody down.
I'm going to get 100.
And you give her.
You're going to 5. You're going to 5. You're going to 7. You're going to 9.
5 in the back row. 5. Going to get a 7. Going to get a 7. Going to get a 7. No, hey, so in the back row.
Coming here.
Going to go to 8. Going to go 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 8. 5. Right?
Yep. I think we should actually start auctioning all of our stuff off. It turns out we're both really good at fast talking.
Yeah.
New plan.
And then
Let's get Fraser and Rebecca on the computer and we'll just sell from the floor.
Yeah. And then I'm going to the beaches in Florida and taking my chances.
Yeah. Hang out with Varney.
Yeah. I'll be loaded and I'll be like, yeah, rich people don't get sick, right?
Nope, they do not.
Go lick the sand in Florida.
Yep. They beat it faster, that's for sure.
Okay, so we might get delisted on this episode. They might remove us from the podcast platform.
Why?
Well, they probably just like a moment ago thought that the file corrupted. Like
nobody listens to this.
So
there's 4 people in here.
Like there's so many pieces to there's so many pieces to this. Who's asking? To your point, who's asking? Who needs the 95? Your big guy? Yeah. Well, then who showed up first?
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Who needs their project done first? Or can these guys wait? Are they okay waiting when's more coming?
Need some more questions asked.
We need some clarity around this, Colin. Like,
yeah, so I think everybody would walk through that as it was happening, right?
So
you have 3 guys that show up and they all need 100 boards and you just say like, guy, when are you? Well, I'm trying to get it done for my wedding in June. Okay.
Yeah,
so
and are all these guys showing up at the same time? Are they all in the store at the same time? And one guy's like, I need 95. And he's like, I need 30 of those, though. Yeah, and I need 32, and I need 30. And then who are you going to be like, somebody's eating a shit sandwich today? Like,
wrestle to the death.
3 of you are eating shit sandwiches, or just this guy over here? Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know how you do that. I think you just like, the only fair way to do it is first in, first out. Whoever got there first to buy it is like, it's his. Hopefully he's generous and is like, yeah, you know what, I can wait. These guys can have it. But
unless you start an auction.
I am not opposed. I like the auction idea.
Capitalism wins.
Right?
Go to it.
Time to make bank.
It's what keeps the socialists alive, man.
Speaking of socialists, Eric Theroux
oh my goodness. I had nothing to do with that.
He's from Quebec.
He's not a socialist.
Okay, well.
I know him personally. Go ahead.
I guess you'll change your tune when you hear his question.
Yeah, fine.
He thinks we should all have basic income.
Socialist.
I'm kidding. Okay, sorry, Eric. I don't know how offensive that might have been to him, but I just like it. Just you said socialist, and I was about to read Eric, and I was like, "Wow, this is funny."
Anything for a joke. Here he goes.
Yeah.
Oh, look, he's got steaming mad
like
face.
Everybody is at risk of being the target in this podcast.
That's right.
I take a joke over your feelings any day, all day, because the other 300 people that are listening to this, they don't know you.
That's right.
They'll
100%.
appreciate the joke.
Yep.
Anyway, and he's not even asking a serious question anyway.
Okay, let's ask it. I'm tired.
Tips and tricks to stay cool when it's 4 degrees cooler than the sun.
Oh, yeah. It's hot there right now. Have you looked up the weather?
No, I haven't, but he posted a picture on Instagram.
38 degrees and then humidity.
45, it was saying. You know, it was in French. I'd like this.
Oh, yeah, well, that's
45 T.
Right.
Which I assume translates to C.
Yeah.
But then he showed another screenshot that said 85 T. Oh. And I was like, well, that's not Fahrenheit. I don't know what this is now. 85. And he got me all sorts of confused.
So it's like 45 degrees Celsius and then with the humidity, 85.
No, it's not. No, 38.
33 degrees.
With humidity, Humidex was 45.
Feels like 35.
What the 85 was, I don't know. Eric's going to have, he's laughing here now. Eric's going to have to clarify what the 85 was because I'm just a dumb Anglophone.
So, but in all reality, he asks a great question because you're in a backyard working on decks and it's like, how do you actually keep your guys cool? How do you keep them working? Because this happens to everybody. It's hot. This isn't the hottest place in the world.
Nickelback.
Could you
keep them cool?
Cool you down. I always find it infuriates me. Like I run a little hotter when somebody puts Nickelback on.
The inside out.
So, yeah, like it's not the hottest country. This is not. So if you're building decks down in like Mexico or Texas, etc., Mexico or Texas is a country. Ask anybody. Ask anybody from Texas. They'll tell you that it's a country.
I was just laughing because I felt like you were dishing out a whole bunch of just like common sense facts. It's like, this isn't the hottest country. Everybody's like, yeah, it's Canada.
It's actually known as the coldest country.
Not like we're in Mexico. We're not in Mexico. It's hotter there. For sure.
Yeah. So anyways, when you're building decks and it's screaming hot out, it's like, well, what do you need to do? you should probably have some sunscreen. You should probably take longer lunch breaks. You should probably hydrate a little bit better. I was awful.
I think they should work harder and faster.
Yeah. Some guys
you can go
started
home and
at
be cold later.
Some guys started at 5 instead of starting at
So that's
7.
what they do in places like Phoenix where it's 45 degrees, legit, dry 45 degrees. They don't work 9 to 5. They work 5 to 2 or whatever. They go home for the hottest part of the day, right?
Yeah.
I guess it depends on how soft you are, right? If you're soft like Eric. He's taking it today.
Yep.
It's 38.
Not
38, that's fine. It's fine. So what I used to do when it was hot out,
38 is not fine.
That is
fine. Awful.
I think it's fine.
It's almost too hot to be on water at
It's
that
a dry
point.
heat.
Theirs isn't. Ours is.
Theirs isn't a dry heat. So we used to bring, like, this is the obvious one, but coolers with bags full of ice in it, dumped in there, and a flat of water from Costco. Throw it in there, and it's just like
Hashtag shop
keep
local.
the water flowing a bunch, right? I know guys like NFDI, they keep, like, they got battery powered fans they can bring on site. Maybe bring some misters, maybe bring some Mr. Freezies. Maybe bring some popsicles. Maybe some jelly bars.
Pay money to see Kevin with a fan and a mister blowing against him in his Regal Ideas t-shirt. He always has those, like,
I feel like that's how he gets ready in the morning.
Deckmaster t-shirts that are so tight. It's like, yeah, but do you have like an infant size t-shirt that I can put on?
Did you see him? Is he in here?
No.
Now it's his turn. Eric's like, off the hook.
Phew, see you later.
So Kevin from FDI posted a video the other day of him spraying some columns, some Versatex columns.
Okay.
And of course, he was dressed like he was going to a bloody wedding to spray out some stuff, whatever. No mask, no nothing. And I shit you not, he was spraying columns, and then he'd do a little bit in his own hair, like, and then like hit it with some high gloss in the hair, sand her down a little bit, get her to nice polish. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he was actually expecting us to solve this answer for him. We're not. But apparently it's really warm in Quebec right now.
Yep.
Is he right in Montreal? Like he
Nope.
lives in Montreal, just outside of?
Just outside.
Yeah. So probably just as hot in Montreal though.
Yep.
So yeah, I guess do that. Drink lots of water, take breaks, get in the shade, garden hose, that could help keep you cool. Sunscreen is probably the most important thing. Sunscreen and hats. Keep yourself covered, keep yourself protected. Drink lots of water. If you need to take a break, take a break. Don't work yourself. That's not good.
Yep.
This is the last question. So if we're going to get some questions from the Instagram people, now's the chance. Because here we go into our final question.
Okay.
Out of this wood.
Great name.
I would love to know where that name came from.
It's a great one.
He asks, how do you deal with thermal expansion on your composite decks?
I don't. Like, what do you? I don't. Like,
okay.
What do you do? I just tell people it's going to expand and contract. There you go.
Yeah, presumably what's behind his question is there anything you can do about it? And the answer is not really. Right? Like you still got guys trying over and over again to biscuit these things together and find some sort of glue that works, and the odd guy claims he has some success with it sometimes on some applications and short stair runs or whatever. And okay, but like I think the industry needs to give up on trying to keep wood plastic composites together if you live in a market that has high temperature swings, because there's just nothing that is proven to be effective often enough to want to start doing.
Yeah, it's all in your messaging to your customer.
The solution to this is if you really bugs you that much, is to either do something to avoid the sightliness, the unsightliness of the joint opening up, or use a product that doesn't expand and contract as much, which could be a decorator's product or a product that has handled that a little bit better, or use wood or whatever, right?
Yep.
So there's not there's no fail-safe solution to keeping Trex or TimberTech or Fibron or any of the wood plastic composites together. It's just none of them really work that well.
Yeah.
So,
and again, like I said, it's in the messaging. So if you tell your customer about this up front, then it becomes a non-issue.
And so
if they already know that it's going to move, they don't care.
That's probably that's the correct answer right there. That's the answer. There he goes. He pen dropped onto the mic.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't going to drop the mic. It'd be way too loud.
Way too expensive too. So that's the best way to deal with it, is you explain to your customers ahead of time that this is a natural thing, that this joint will open up. so that you don't get the callbacks thinking that they are, accusing you of shoddy workmanship or expecting you to come back and fix the problem. Because it's just like, it's going to open up.
Yeah, you can't, you just can't keep that there.
It's like buying a car. This car uses gasoline, not diesel.
Yep, runs out.
Then you get somebody coming back later and be like, you didn't tell me it didn't use diesel. Well, I put diesel in it. No, don't go no more. So as long as you educate them ahead of time, then you look like the smart guy instead of the guy making excuses when you try to cover for it later and say like, this is normal. And they're like, yeah, of course you're going to say that now. You don't want to fix the problem.
Yep.
So
what was this story? Did you explain this? It was like, if you tell them about it before it happens, it's knowledge. And if you tell them after, it's an excuse.
Yeah. There's a line.
Did you invent that line?
I don't know that I did. I feel like maybe I paraphrased it from somewhere.
Sure.
It
sounds like your execution. So that's why I thought it was yours.
Ouch. Okay.
Shots fired.
That's all the questions we got today. I can't believe we didn't play off the dope showing up at the wrong house a little bit more. I thought for sure we were going to have some fun with that. Right? That was me trying to bring it back. Here we go. I got nothing.
It's going to die there. Do we think Friday afternoons are where it's at?
For no.
Turns out you get trick slammed out.
Trick slammed.
Poor Bryce sat up here for 2 hours while we got trapped on the floor. We couldn't get
just
up
about
here.
3 hours. So the intention was to record this podcast at 1 o'clock today.
We obviously had a huge following at 1 o'clock because they're not here at 3.
Yeah, we had it's like 4:30 now. We had
I gotta go.
We had a not an overly busy morning. Neither of us got called down to the floor a whole bunch. Like I didn't anyway. I know maybe you did a bit more.
No, you went once.
I went a couple times, but it wasn't slammed.
Yeah.
And so I texted Bryce and said, let's do the podcast this afternoon. He's like, what time? Doesn't matter. 1 o'clock. He shows up 1 o'clock. It's all good. I am up here. You're ready. We're good to go. We got everything kind of set up. About to go. You roll in. You're like, there's a guy here and he needs to talk to you. Okay.
How'd that go? Did you close that sale?
Well, I have to update the quote and then he wants to pull the trigger because he wants it done and built in 2.5 weeks.
So the customer I had down there.
So then the rails went off down there. I went down there with one guy. 10 more people walked in. We didn't come back up here till 4 o'clock.
Yeah, the dinger's going. We have a little dinger upstairs where you push the doorbell downstairs. It's the panic button.
Yeah, it is the panic button. That's a good name for it.
So the panic button gets hit. I'm upstairs waiting for Shane to come back. I was like, okay, let's do this podcast. We should change the sound on the panic button to more like a fire alarm. It's so cute right now. It's like, ding dong.
It should be like, what's the guy's name from Ice Age? Help. Sid? Oh, it should be Sid's voice. Help. Help.
Yeah, we should do that. We should record it and put it on there somehow. Anyways,
should, yeah.
So the button gets pushed and then I go down. And yeah, we were busy. We had a couple of contractors in. A new contractor showed up today. That was really great.
Oh, good.
Chris Koffler sent him over.
Oh, yeah.
That happened right away.
Okay.
So, and then I got stuck with this customer at the end that he wanted to price out every single item in the store. Price it in this board. Priced it. Can you price it in this board? Priced it. What about wood? Priced it. What about railing? Priced it. Yeah, I have all these quotes. Do you think you could match them? Okay, match this one. Match that one. And then you came down twice and you're like,
you busy? Yeah.
No, I'm not selling anything. I'm just showing this guy all the numbers in our computer. Yeah.
I've actually just set him up as an employee and give him a login. He can play around while we're recording the podcast.
But he was just resurfacing his deck and he's going to come back tomorrow, he thinks, and maybe pull the trigger. So anyways, the long story short is we will likely end up with that sale because he was pretty impressed with the service. And that's the goal.
Right. So I feel like I did a good job too, because when I went down there, you must have told my guy that like, oh, he's upstairs. We're just about to record a podcast, because I came down. He's like, I hear you're just about to record a podcast. And I was like, yeah, but like,
because I said no. He was like, is Shane here? Can I talk to him? No.
And I
Why?
said,
because we're going to record a podcast. Well, I really want to work with Shane. Yeah, but he's busy. He's got a podcast to record.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy my deck, and he's the one who knows.
So as soon as I came down there, he asked me, he's like, I hear you're recording a podcast. Would you like me to come back later? And I was like,
yes. You should.
No, I was like, in my head, I was like, that'd be fantastic. But I was like, that's not the right answer. We sell Deck King and he wants to buy it. I shouldn't make him wait so I can go play on the microphone. So, anyways, I gave him 32 bags of weed and sent him on his way. He was happy. He'll be back.
Here, try this.
It might be a couple weeks before he's back, but he'll be back. I told him he had cheesies in the back.
He'll be hungry.
He'll be back. Anyway, that's it for us this week. I think we should get Varney on for next week.
Do it.
Have we had him on? We haven't had him on yet.
So we had him when we were at Deck Expo. We talked to him there.
On the pod?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
He came in. It was like a round table, and he rolled in and sat down and chatted with us for a bit. So,
but we should get him on the pod, like a dedicated. I think at that time we even said like, "We'll get you on," and it hasn't happened yet.
Let's do that, and then we'll talk about some of the decks and docks and his idea of products and it'll be good. We'll talk about the same thing we talk about always.
Oh, what we should talk about?
Yeah, Deck Expo. Speaking of that,
Deck Expo. I meant to bring this up at the start. So, hey boys, check the sound on your end. Says Illuminated Balustrade.
No, we're almost done.
The podcast sounds good. Instagram, well, but the sound's fine. We're auctioneers right now. That's what's happening. Deck Expo. So there's been a lot of uncertainty around whether it's happening or not because it's in Baltimore every year, and it was supposed to be in October or September even this year.
I thought it was in October.
It was early. So maybe early October. And in Baltimore, and obviously with the state of the world right now, it was like, is this thing on? Is this thing on? So everybody's wondering if it was on. And
half capacity.
Is that a thing?
No, but like it would be.
It would have been anyway. So I had asked the question in one of the Facebook groups to say like, hey, because I know that Heather is in that group. And so I said, does anybody know if like, I assume it's going to get canceled, but is that official yet? And her response was they were meeting with the city of Baltimore the next day to talk about it. But as of that moment, it was still on. And so I was like, oh, okay, so we'll get an update soon. That was probably 3-4 weeks ago. And there hasn't been an update until yesterday. Now there's an update.
Shit,
it's a big one.
Yesterday.
Shit got real. It got really real.
I can't wait.
So here's the details.
Which camera are you going to look at when you drop this
All
news?
of them. With like, God didn't give me 2 eyes for. We got 4 eyes.
Okay.
You look at 2.
I'll look at this one and this one here.
You want that one?
No, this one's.
This one? This one.
This one or
7,000. You go 75. So they're moving the show. So for those who haven't been to the show before, it's been paired, or what do you want to call it? Like
I'm not looking away from the camera.
Aligned with the remodeling show, and it's always kind of bounced back and forth. Like it's in Baltimore every other year. It's been in Chicago, Nashville, Louisville, a bunch of different places. It moves around, but it always follows with the remodeling show. JLC remodeling show.
Yeah.
Over. It's over.
It broke
that
up.
partnership it's over.
Hey, man.
It's awkward. Like they said, we'll be friends and all that stuff, but you know how that goes. Like they didn't actually stay friends. Then
if they get jealous,
remodeling
when they see
started
with other
stalking
people.
Deck Expo on TikTok. It got super weird. They were duetting each other.
I said it would be good that we see each other until I saw that you were seeing someone.
Right, and then
oh boy, this is
remodeling show saw that Deck Expo got in bed with the new show really quickly after, like
they were already
days,
cheating,
and then they started questioning whether that was happening before they actually split up. And so then they started looking like it got messy.
Yeah,
and
you bounced back pretty fast.
People were getting messages on Facebook, like other shows were, to be like, hey, did you know about anything that was going on with Deck Expo before I found out? Like, I feel like I'm probably on the short end of this here right away. And then I believe
are we friends? How come you didn't tell me?
JLC had booked counseling appointments to try to work through some emotional scarring from this whole thing.
It's going to be a big blow. It'll be a big blow.
Deck Expo was off, just acting like a single 7-year-old girl again. It was like, it was not good, uncontrollable, like missing on the weekends.
Or a 17-year-old boy.
Being brought home by the police on, like, it's just like, anyway.
So now the new partner. So the new partner.
So Deck,
because sometimes what happens, Shane, is that the new partnership is amazing.
It's a big upgrade sometimes, right?
Right.
So Deck Expo goes missing, right, one weekend, and a lot of breakups end this way.
Yeah.
Wakes up in Vegas, right?
Oh.
Wakes up in Vegas, in bed with another show. Like,
yep, this is true.
No, like. You can't make this stuff up.
Well, it sounds like you are.
So now the remodeling show has gone virtual. They're going to do a virtual trade show this year. I don't know how that works, but that's what they're doing. Deck Expo is like, listen,
I have a pretty good idea how it's going to work.
Online cheating is still cheating, right?
I have a pretty good idea how that's going to work. It's not going
They got into bed with the spa, pool, and patio, pool, spa, patio expo.
This is the best,
which happens in Las Vegas.
best ever.
Which, as far as I know, still gets to keep its city name because it's not racist in any way, I don't think, yet.
Yeah,
so now the show's moved there. It's
Seems
moved
fine.
dates. It's back into November, I think 11th to 13th, aligned with the Pool, Spa, Patio Expo, which is a much better alignment, in my opinion, for people in the decking world. Like,
not too many times did I need to put insulation in the deck.
Not many times.
Or case it.
No.
But almost every freaking time there's patio stones around it.
Correct. So, like, Sean from Premier Outdoors sprung one because...
It's probably still up. He probably called his doctor and was like, it's been 4 hours.
It's been over 4 hours. I feel like a compass. It's telling me to go to Vegas. So...
Bring your wife.
Fantastic. The timing is better. The timing is better. November's way better. It's deeper into the season, so things have slowed down. It's way better for us.
The
alignment with the Pool Spa Patio show is way better for us.
Shovel was in this podcast, but like all other people, we've put them to sleep. So he is now out. But that, like, we're going to travel with buddies probably to this thing.
That might happen.
And we might even get new buddies.
And it's in Las Vegas. So people would prefer nothing. Like,
are you going to invite your wife?
I told her about it, and I was like, maybe we should look to align that, and maybe she could come.
So I asked JJ if she would come, and she said she'd be interested in going, but she was like, I'm only going if JC's going, because she was like, it's a work trip, and I realize that there will be like a big part of your day that you'll be working.
Yep.
And she's like, I don't want to be the third wheel in the airport while you're talking to your buddies, or when you're walking on the floor show, or when you're like, if you're recording anything while you're down there. I don't want to just stand around and watch you.
Yeah. Understandable. So I pitched the idea to JC, and like it'll be November 10th, the night before she makes up her mind, and then she won't go.
Ooh, there'll be expensive tickets that night.
Yeah. So anyways, that's the update on Deck Expo. It is happening this year, but it's moved to Baltimore. It's moved back into November. It's with a different show. It's
not moved to Baltimore. It's moved to Vegas.
Moved to Vegas. Sorry,
moved
from Baltimore.
Out of Baltimore.
Moved out of Baltimore.
Okay, so in Vegas, November 11th to the 13th.
Yes.
Which is great because you can still get home from moose hunting.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
I know you weren't, but I was. The 20th.
Okay. Well,
so safe travels. I'll even be like sober enough to use a gun.
You should be ready to go again by the 20th, hey? Okay, that's it. But that's a fantastic news story with Deck Expo. If you guys are going to Deck Expo, feel free to hit us up because we'll be there.
Yeah.
And we got some stuff planned again. It's in the works anyway. We'll leave that for now, but let's make something happen. It's cool down there. This will be the best Deck Expo ever.
Varney next week.
Jason Varney next week. We're going to try to make it happen.
He doesn't even know yet.
See you next week.
You've been listening to the Ultimate Deck Podcast.
Ultimate Deck Podcast.
Brought to you by the Ultimate Deck Shop. Shop with us at www.ultimatedeckshop.com or check us out at all the social networks we can keep up with. Hit us up for any collaboration or sponsorship opportunities. Thanks for listening.